It's time. It's time. It's time to grow and glow, and I have the guy for you. Happy Monday. How are y'all? Good morning. Like I said last week, I know some of you guys are just waking up or on your way to work, so that's all right. How was y'all's week last week? Speaking of last week, how did y'all do with the challenge? Did you look at the phone? Let me know in the comments what you did different instead of waking up and checking your phone. All right. So remember last week we did talk about unlearning comparison. And I know that was a tough topic for a lot of us, but it was needed. All right. And this week we're discussing the power of saying no and how that contributes to your confidence. Mm. I know it's hard for us to say no. It just is because we don't want to. It's just hard for us to say no. All right. So I want us to look at the month of June as this is the month where our confidence whispers to us, I am enough. So confidence is hello Pride Month, but also we're going to make sure that we're, really, really zoning in and leading into our confidence. Now, you already know how we start the week. Give me a really, really deep breath. And this is the affirmation that we're going to use for this whole entire week. Listen to this. I honor myself when I say no. My boundaries are a reflection of my worth, not my weakness. Mm, mm. I'm going to say it one more time. I honor myself when I say no. My boundaries are not oh, shoot. Even I'm fucking it up. My boundaries are a reflection of my worth, not my weakness. And I want you to think about that. All right. So I want us to start off with actually talking about what are boundaries and why we need to set them. Boundaries tell people how to treat you. Mm, think about that. They tell people how to treat you. Now, I want you to think about this. We're talking about the power of saying no. You have to realize that when you're a yes man and saying yes to everything, that's telling people to run all over you. And we're not doing that. Every time you say yes to something that you don't want to say yes to, you're saying no to becoming the best version of yourself. And remember, that is what we're working on. That's what we're working on. Hold up, this damn plants. Okay. Now, and that's what we're working on. And that's something that I need you to understand. I need you to realize. Now let's get deep. All right. Let me give you the definition, the dictionary definition of what a boundary is. All right. Boundaries are the limits and guidelines you set to protect your energy, your time, and your emotional well-being. Mm, mm. Like I said, boundaries tell people how to treat you. So when you set them, you're telling them, hey, I need to protect my time, my values, my energy, and my emotional well-being. And that's something you need to think about when you're telling people no. Don't think about it as a bad thing. Think about it, I'm telling them no so I can tell myself yes. You need to take care of yourself before you're taking care of other people. Now, I want to talk about why we struggle with saying no. And there's a few things. So the first thing is the fear of disappointment. Hold on, let me turn my page. You hear that? Ooh, let me turn my page so you can hear. The fear of disappointment. But why are you, it's the fear of disappointment, right? And my question that I have for you, why are you worried about that? Let's put it in perspective. When someone disappoints you, you give them chance after chance after chance to chance. Grace upon grace upon grace upon grace. But when it comes to you, you're not extending the same thing that you're giving to other people. Why is that? I need you to think about that. You have people disappoint you and you give them grace. So when you're disappointing yourself by telling someone no, you need to make sure that you're extending grace to yourself. Because let's face it, the reason why we feel disappointed when we tell someone no, because we feel like we're letting them down. And you have to get out that mindset. No is for you. We're going to get deep today because I feel like when it just comes to the word no, we had negative connotation to it. Maybe not everyone, but some of us do, right? And I want us to get to a point of not feeling some type of way in a negative sense when we tell someone no. So make sure you listening up. Remember, take some note. Take some note. Well, that's not the sound of a pen or a pencil, but that's trying to get your attention and make sure that you're taking notes. All right. Remember, number one was fear of disappointment. Number two, I think number two is a enormous one. You don't want to tell anyone no because you feel guilty. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in a sense of if you're the go-to friend and you're the strong friend and you feel guilty for telling individuals in your life no because you're that go-to person. You cannot feel guilty for that. And this may be hard to hear, but I know, because it's me included, I know when some of us say no and we're that strong friend or that go-to friend, we feel like that we will lose our value if we tell someone no. Now let me explain because I know some of us aren't in that point yet. What I'm trying to say is that if you have someone in your life, whether it's friends or family, and they can't deal with the word no, you need to reevaluate some things. I don't know exactly what. I don't know exactly what you need to reevaluate, but you need to reevaluate some things. Hold up, y'all. I think I put this desk too close to me. Okay, I think this is better. But yeah, you need to reevaluate some things. Let me give an example. Now, I'm not saying this is a personal example. This is just an example for you guys to put it in perspective. If I have a friend, right, and the friend is asking me, hey, can you come out with us this weekend? And you tell them no, and their follow-up question is why? That's a red flag. Check something out. People who are in your life will understand the reason why you're saying no is because you need to take time for you. I mean, sometimes it may be because you want to hang out, but at the end of the day, if anyone says no about something, it's because they're going to do stuff with themselves or they need time to decompress or they need time to be with themselves and their thoughts. It's not always because they don't want to hang out with me. They don't miss me. They don't love me. It's not that. You know, if you have a friend that's like, oh, damn, well, you always want to stay home. You don't never want to come with us. Red flag, reevaluate your friendship and reevaluate if they need to be in your life. Because the people who are supposed to be in your life will understand that when you say no, that's okay. And no is a complete sentence. Thank you, Dana. No is complete. No is a complete sentence. Mm. Once you say no to someone, you should not have to explain why you're saying no. Ooh. Let's talk about it. They need to understand. No means no, and that's it. No explanation needed. Now, this is number three of why we, have a hard time saying no. It's because of childhood and culture programming. Let's talk about this. I know I can just speak from experience, right? In the Black community, I know that when you're younger and you tell someone no, it's like, oh shit, all hell's breaking loose. Because not you telling me no, right? Not you telling me no because that's looked at as disrespectful, ungrateful, selfish. I'm saying the Black community, but honestly, I think it's all minorities, right? When you're telling, and you have to think about, we're talking about age now, right? When you're younger and you're telling someone no, that's a sense of disrespect. That's a sense of selfishness, ungratefulness, and that's what we learn when we're younger. And you're like, damn, you're probably thinking like, damn, I'm not that age anymore. You have to understand when things happen in our childhood or programming happens in our childhood, we carry that on to adulthood without even thinking about it. And now you're probably questioning yourself like, damn, why do I even feel bad when I'm telling someone no and I'm a fucking adult? It's because of culture and childhood programming. Now, I'm not saying all the time, but in instances, as I know, and I'm talking about me personally, I know when I was growing up, I wouldn't dare say no. I want to try to get no ass whooping or punishment. And now, being an adult, I still have a hard time saying no because I don't want to be rude or disrespectful to anyone. And also, too, we are always talking about, say yes, say yes, say yes. So to show that you can be dependable and that can be there when people need you. But what about when you need you, right? Let's talk about work. You're always saying, yes, I'll do this project. Yes, I'll stay late. Yes, I'll work extra days. All right, cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But then what about when you need to time and you can't stay late, work extra days, or do additional projects? Are you going to be able to depend on someone to help you when you're down? When you can't do the things that you normally do? That's what I'm saying. You have to know how to say no. I'm sorry, I can't do this. And that's it. And stop the sentence right there. That's all you got to say, man. It's nothing more than that. Now, we talk about, childhood and we talk about cultural programming and how that carries on into our adult life. I want you to know too, it's not just saying no. There's a lot of situations and a lot of things that happens in our lives that we've carried over from our childhood that we use in adulthood, not even realizing it, because that's what we grew up with and that's what we're used to. But when something is wrong, and that's something you have to acknowledge and you have to fix that. And that's just what it is. Now, today, this damn plant. If y'all are not, watching the video, y'all listening, I have this plant that I put right here on the side of me to give me like a little tropical vibe, but the shit is just all in the way. But it's cute, so I'm gonna keep it there. But this month is Pride Month, so happy Pride to all of my LGBTQ individuals, as well as our allies who, again, support us in everything that we do. Now, I wanted to focus on this last one because it is Pride Month, but also because a lot of us deal with this specific thing, even if you're not a part of the queer community, even if you're not Black, even if you're not a minority, everyone deals with this problem. At least that's what I think. Okay, so this is my opinion. I think everyone deals with this problem. Number 3, and this is the last one of why we struggle to say no, and that is shrinking ourselves to stay safe. I'm going to say that again. Shrinking ourselves to stay safe. The reason why I said, this is for everyone is because I'm going to just use me as an example. I'm going to use me as an example. Being the only Black queer person in a space, it makes you feel some type of way. And it's not because others are making you feel that way. It's because of your self-conscious. And, self-conscious or self-conscious, however you say it, you know what I'm trying to say. It's because of yourself and you see that there's no one else like you in a specific space. You want to shrink yourself to be able to fit in with everyone else. And we have to stop doing that. And let's just talk about you not being Black, not being queer, not being in a minority, not being white. Let's not focus on color, but let's talk about you being a woman in a male-dominated area or in a male-dominated space. You shrink yourself like this. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, but let's talk statistics. Now, I could be a few off, but it's something in this range, and I'll put it in the comments. But there's 8.1 billion people in this world. Okay, 4.1 billion are male, 4 billion are female. To every 100 women, it's 102 men. Now, two, it don't seem like a lot, right? But you have to understand, if I'm in a workplace or in an environment, and 2 men may not seem like a lot, but damn, it's gonna be a lot if I'm in a male-dominated area or in a male-dominated space. We're not talking about the whole world, we're just talking about where we work. And you probably like, damn, she going off on a tangent. No, because I want you to understand something to tie back in. The reason why I'm pointing out these specific things is because these things are reasons why we don't say no, because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. We don't want to say no because we don't want to cause and draw attention to ourselves. And we don't want to seem like the one, oh, well, you don't want to be pinpointed. That's why you don't say no. And that's why I said all these different scenarios for all of us to really understand and think about it, because those things matter. It's not about your color. It's not about, your race. It's not about just about sexual orientation or all three of those things. It's just about you being a person and realizing that you're different than the majority. Ooh, ooh, and that ain't even in the nose. Ooh. You have to think about that. You shrink yourself and say no because you want to fit in. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't shrink yourself and change yourself because you're different from everyone else. Embrace being different. Embrace being the only female there. Embrace being the only queer person there. Embrace being the only minority who works there. Embrace that because they seen something in you, if not something better in you than they see in other people and the other employees and things. You have to think about that. And you're like, damn, you talking about work. It's the HR background coming out. It's the HR stuff coming out because those things matter. And also too, since we talk about HR, you want to put a little thing in there. They want diversity. You understand what I'm saying? Like, well, I know DE&I is not a requirement for businesses now. Businesses who actually value having diverse amount of people, they're going to value diversity and they're going to value bringing someone else who doesn't look like them into their establishment. And that's something that I want you to think about. So if someone brought you somewhere, you need to have the ability to say no and not feel good about it and not feel bad about it. It's okay to be different. I want you to feel that. I want you to know. And that's why we're focusing this month on June for pride, but also for building unshakable confidence, because that's what we need. And that's what I want us to focus on. Now, we got through that. And I want you to know that this is your feel good patient. Sit your ass in the bus. Because once you build the confidence that you need for yourself, you're going to feel good every single day with no question about it. Because now I want to talk about how no actually builds your confidence. Listen when you flip the page. Can y'all hear that? Let me know if you can hear that because I could just be doing the most. So here are 4 ways on how saying no actually builds your confidence. Number 1, reinforces self-trust. Number 2, shows others you respect your time and energy. Number 3, helps you move in alignment instead of obligation. And number 4, saying no to them is saying yes to who? You. Okay? Now let's break these down. Reinforcing self-trust. What does that mean? This is how I want you to think about it. Every time that you're putting time and actually trusting yourself and believing in yourself, you are telling yourself that is enough. And that counts for everything. Think about that. Number 2, shows others you respect your time and energy. Look, when people see that you respect you, they'll start respecting you. And that's period. That's it. Number 3, helps you move in alignment instead of obligation. You will do things because you want to do them. Maybe say it again. You will do things because you want to do them, not because you feel like you have to do them. So it'll be alignment instead of obligation. All right? And number 4, saying no to them is saying yes to you. Remember what we talked about earlier, y'all? Saying no to them is saying yes to becoming the best version of you. And that's what we're working on every fucking day, man. We want to be the best version of ourselves every single day. Of course, it may take some time. Every day we're working on it, though. And again, that counts for every single thing. That counts for everything. At least you're working towards it, and that's what matters. But saying no is going to be a big portion of that. And you need to make sure that you're recognizing that and realizing that. No is a simple 2-letter word, but it is hard to say. It's not hard to spell. It ain't hard to write, but it's hard for you to say it. And today, I hope you're really listening to and realizing how no can really affect us as a person and how no can change us as a person and uplift us and elevate us. That's what I want you to think about. No as an elevation word to you, but then no to them means no. No to them means no. All right. Now we talk about no, and remember before we talked about setting those boundaries. The boundary is no, right? So the different steps of exactly what boundaries I want us to look at this week. So I want us to look at 3 time boundaries. Are you overcommitting in all aspects of your life? 2 emotional boundaries. Now this is when I think about emotional boundaries, I think about people who are empaths. And if you don't know what an empath is, I don't think I really know, but I know the gist of it. It is when someone can feel someone else's feelings. So let's just say, for example, this is just an example. I'm sitting and listening to someone tell a story and it's sad as fuck. And I get sad. And I start feeling mad. And I'm like, damn, oh my God. And it's taken away from my energy. I'm looking out here because somebody just parked in our garage space, but they not coming to the house. I'm like confused. So the reason is because they have construction in the middle of the fucking road. Like, I don't understand. Anyways, I'm just being nosy. Chismosa. Trying to see what the fuck going on. For empaths, you need to set an emotional boundary. I'm not saying don't let someone tell you their story, but I'm saying, thank you so much for sharing. I can't deal with that right now. Or, hey, let me give you some resources. So somebody to talk to. And number 3, oh, look at this. Energy boundaries. Do you leave conversations feeling drained? Look it up. So I want you to make sure that you're focusing on those this week. It's 3: time boundaries, emotional boundaries, and energy boundaries. Take advantage and think about those things this week. All right. Now, I know today we have been talking about a lot of things that I want you guys to do, and I want you guys to work on. You have to remember, growth requires action. So if you're wanting to grow within your confidence and become the best confident self that you can be, you have to actually do things to be able to change. And also, growth requires release. We're releasing the the negative connotation of saying no and switching it with a positive connotation, so we know that when I say no to someone, it's because I'm saying yes to me, and that matters. And that should matter all the fucking time, not just this week and not just today. Every day and every time I say no, it matters, no matter when or what it is. Now, if you're not ready to say no yet, but you want to say no, but you don't want to say the words though, I'm going to give you 4 ways on how to say no without actually saying the words no. Number 1, that doesn't work for me. Period. That's all you got to say. Number 2, I don't have the capacity right now. And that's important. Especially, I think that one is really for our work folks. I don't have the capacity right now. Let me say this. That means that does not require an explanation after. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Even though you're not saying no, this is a complete sentence. I don't have the capacity right now, and leave it there. All right? Ooh, excuse me. Number 3, I'm choosing to rest instead. Let's put it in perspective. If your friends ask you to go get drinks this weekend and you really don't want to, don't tell them, yeah, I'll go. No, I'll rather rest instead. I'm choosing to rest instead, period. And that's it. And the last one is the best one. No, thank you. Self-explanatory. No, thank you, but I appreciate you though. All right. Now, today, I really hope that, with us talking, well, I know I'm doing the talking and you're listening, but remember, we're still getting to know each other, right? So with us talking about this and learning how to use no to build unshakable confidence, I'm hoping that you're actually realizing that it's okay to say no, and I shouldn't feel guilty about that. And no one should make me feel guilty about saying no. When I'm saying no to something I don't want to do, I'm saying yes to me. And that's how I want you to look at it. All right. Now it's time for our Grow and Glow challenge. Grow and Glow challenge. 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 So look, last week our Grow and Glow challenge was do not pick up your phone when you wake up. Don't forget to tell me how you did with that. And I hope you did what Mel Robbins said and put it in the bathroom. If you did do that, I hope you drank some water instead. All right. So this week for the challenge, I want you to say one intentional no. That's it. And it's better said than done, I know. That's all I want you to do this week, man. Just say one intentional no. It can be as simple as my girlfriends asked me to, go out this weekend. Look, anything, remember, if you don't want to say the words no, you can say, I'm choosing to rest instead. And that's the same thing. That's all I want you to do, man. Now, it's early. And like I said last week, you may not remember everything that I said. Come back and watch or come back and listen. I want you guys really to apply these things that, we talk about because they're important. They're really important, and these are the things that we need to be able to become the best version of ourselves, whether we think about it or not. You know? And that's all we have for today, right? It's Coach Faith here. Another week, another glow up. And thank you so much for letting me be your guide. And I will see you guys next week. Ciao. I'm back because I forgot something. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow. Remember, we're on TikTok every day. We're on Facebook every day, Instagram every day. Also, too, I forgot to tell you guys that on Mondays at 12, I know today is Monday, but if you watch or listen after, on Mondays at 12, I do go live with two wonderful ladies that, and we talk about mental health and talk about the importance of mental health in our community, as well as just mental health for everyone and how going to therapy isn't a bad thing. And we all need to know that. All right. So y'all could definitely tune in on Monday. Also, that's all I have for you. And I want you guys, be active with me, right? Follow me on Instagram, TikTok. Like I said, every day on TikTok, we have motivational videos. So if you need something to listen to every single day, not just Monday, go ahead and follow us there as well. And I'll put all of these in the comments below. Comments below. Now, that's all we have for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. No, we won't. I won't see you tomorrow unless you're on TikTok. But I will see you guys next week. All right, ciao.